January 7th. In the Winter War, the Soviet 44th Division, under General Vinogradov, is totally annihilated on the Rat Road. The Finns have resisted and fought heroically in the area of Suomussalmi, forcing the Red Army to retreat behind their borders. Vinogradov is arrested when he arrives back in Russia, while General Andrei Ivanovich Zelentov, commander of the 163rd Division, dies in the battle. The Finnish army captures a large amount of weaponry, and Stalin, in the face of many strategic errors that have produced the disaster, puts General Semyon Timoshenko at the head of the Soviet forces fighting in Finland. Timoshenko, learning from the mistakes of his predecessors, orders a reorganization of the troops and a strengthening of equipment to undertake, as soon as possible, a new offensive against the Finnish Mannerheim line. In the Sea War, the British lose the submarines Seahorse and Undine in the North Sea near Heligoland, victims of depth charges from German mine layers. Monday, January 8th. The Battle of Suomussalmi is over. The Red Army has lost almost 30,000 men, the Finns 800. The success of the Finnish troops is astounding, especially given the fact that they did not have artillery or anti-tank equipment. Hitler has watched the Finnish victory with surprise and admiration. The Nazi leader is convinced that if a well-trained but poorly equipped army can destroy a number of Soviet divisions, the enormous forces of the Wehrmacht, prepared and equipped like no other, should be able to defeat Stalin's armies easily. The Nazi leader replies to the letter he received from Mussolini on the 3rd. His plans have not changed. He will attack Western Europe as soon as possible, and he will not listen to the advice of the Italian dictator. In Britain, the naval blockade that the German submarines are trying to enforce begins to bear fruit. Chamberlain's government is forced to increase the number of products rationed. Meanwhile, the Admiralty has equipped a group of Wellington bombers with a degaussing system to disable mines, and the first flights are carried out along the coasts, detonating those mines that are found. Tuesday, January 9th. Following the Soviet defeat in Suomussalmi in the Winter War, fighting continues between Russian and Finnish troops. In the naval war, the head of the U-boat Waffe, Karl Donitz, has been forced, due to the shortage of submarines, to intensify the installation of magnetic mines around Britain's coast and in the areas of heaviest maritime traffic. At the same time, surface ships have increased the number of patrols. In waters close to the German island of Heligoland, in the North Sea, the German mine layer M7 sinks the British submarine Starfish, the whole crew of which is taken prisoner, while U-19, commanded by Joachim Schepke, sinks the Norwegian merchantman Manx off the coast of Scotland. The losses force the Admiralty to withdraw all ships from the area. The head of the SS in Danzig, West Prussia, Richard Hildebrandt, writes to inform Himmler that, in line with the euthanasia plan, more than 4,000 patients have been eliminated from Polish sanatoriums and 2,000 Germans from the psychiatric hospital of Pomerania. Wednesday, January 10th. In the Soviet-Finnish War, the German war correspondent Otto von Zvel joins the Finnish army as a volunteer. When Hitler receives the news, he issues orders von Zvel to be stripped of his German nationality and military rank. Due to the expected good weather forecast, the impatient Nazi leader informs the OKW, Armed Forces High Command, of his desire to begin the Western offensive on the 17th of this month. The Luftwaffe's bombing of French airports is to begin 3 days in advance. Meanwhile, more than 2 million soldiers of the Third Reich occupy positions along the borders with Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, and France. Two Luftwaffe officers, Helmut Reiniger of the 7th Paratroops Division and the pilot Erich Hohnmans, assigned to the intelligence service, carrying documents relating to the plans for the invasion of the West, are forced to land in Mecklenburg-sur-Meuse due to a failure in the Me-108, in which they were flying over Belgian territory. Belgian troops detain them before they can destroy the documents, which are analyzed with incredulity by Allied commanders. General Maurice Gamelin and the other commanders are convinced they provide definitive proof of the actions being prepared by Germany. The incident leads Hitler to order the Gestapo to arrest the relatives of both officers and delay the invasion. Thursday, January 11th. Fighting continues in the Soviet-Finnish War north of Lake Ladoga and in the Salla area, while the Swedish volunteer pilots from the F-9 base northwest of Rovaniemi begin operations around Lake Kemi. In the Soviet Union, General Alexei Vinogradov and 2 of his officers are executed following the Russian disaster at the Battle of Suomussalmi. In the United States, Charles Edison, son of the American inventor, is named Secretary of the Navy. Following the incident at Mechlin in Belgium, Hitler orders all German armed forces barracks and bases to display posters stating the punishment for revealing state secrets. In France, the government introduces food rationing and laws against the black market, while in Britain, for the first time, women take over the controls of planes produced by the aeronautical industry and transport them to the airfields. In the Sea War, U-23, commanded by Otto Kretschmer, sinks the merchant ship Fredville, and one of the mines laid by Fritz Julius Lemp's U-30 downs the British merchantman Oso. Friday, January 12th. The Swedish volunteer pilots of the F-19 group carry out their first combat mission in the Soviet-Finnish War. In glacial conditions, 4 Gladiator and 4 Hart planes attempt to stop Russian lorries and armored vehicles advancing across Finnish territory. The Red Army has launched a big offensive with the intention of breaking through the left flank of the Mannerheim Line. The cold front covering Europe pushes down temperatures in some places to 50 degrees below zero, paralyzing the German submarine war effort in some areas. U-23, commanded by Otto Kretschmer, sinks the Danish merchant ship Danmark, while the British War Cabinet once more rejects Operation Wilfred, the laying of mines off the Norwegian coast. Churchill, the First Lord of the Admiralty, heavily criticizes the governments of Sweden and Norway for not collaborating, and clashes with Prime Minister Chamberlain. Meanwhile, Luftwaffe planes attack military bases in the London area for the first time. Japan informs Holland that the period of time covered by the Mutual Aid Treaty has expired. Japan has territorial ambitions, and the belief that the country will lead an anti-Western revolution gains supporters.